Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, children. Welcome you all for online class. See, yesterday we have discussed about the introduction part of acid. What does mean by acid and how they can be classified. So acids can be classified on two bases. One is based on sources and the other one is based on the concentration of H plus ions. So based on the concentration of H plus ions, they can be categorized into mineral acid, that means strong acids and weak acids. Okay, weak acids. Whereas weak acids are nothing but organic acids, right? Okay, so weak acids, we can term them as what? Organic acids. Why organic acids are called as weak acids? Because they'll be dissociated partially. Only partial dissociation alone will take place in case of organic acids. Okay, whereas mineral acids are called as strong acids because they undergo complete ionization. Last class I showed you how they'll get dissociated. Okay, and now how these strong acids are getting dissociated. Let us assume that these are the molecules of this acid. Okay, see, if you see that, let us take the smaller molecules and the larger sized particles. Okay, the smaller particles as well as the larger sized particles. Let us assume that these are the molecules of HCl in water. Okay, in aqueous form, right? So the smaller one, as you know, that hydrogen ions, H plus ions, and the larger one are chloride ions. So if you see that the molecule, for example, HCl contains one larger molecule and one smaller molecule. This larger molecule is called as chlorine. That means a larger particle here. Okay, this is a complete molecule now. This is an atom and this is another atom. Chlorine is one atom and hydrogen is another atom. Okay, so when it is getting dissociated like this, then it will be generated as ions. Okay, Cl minus ion and H plus ions. So if you see this structure here, all the ions are completely free. Okay, in aqueous form. So this is in water medium. See, all the ions are free now, right? So all the H plus ions are getting generated as free ions. Okay, they are getting separated from the molecule. That means one HCl molecule will be there. In that, the HCl will get completely dissociated as H plus ion and Cl minus ion. Right? So this is why, the reason why they are called as strong acids. Okay. Then what about weak acids? Weak acids, they'll undergo partial ionization. Okay. So they'll get partially breaks down. See, only partial ionization will be there. If you see this, see, this is a molecule where the conjugated particles, that means base is there and hydrogen ion, free hydrogen ion is there, whereas undissociated molecules are also there. If you check this structure, let us take, see, this one is undissociated and this is dissociated. Okay, right? So this one is undissociated. It is not dissociated completely. Undissociated. Okay, whereas these two are dissociated, completely dissociated, right? So partial ionization only will take place in case of weak acids, right? And the next one, based on the amount of acid present in aqueous solution, how can they be categorized? Okay, based on the amount of acid. If the acids are present very little amount, if the acids are present larger amount, then how can they be termed? Okay, so we can categorize them into two different types. One is concentrated acid and the other one is dilute acid. So when they'll be called as concentrated acid, when it contains less amount of water and more amount of acid, then it is termed as concentrated acid. When the acid contains more amount of water and less amount of acid, then it is called dilute acids. Let us assume an example. If the aqueous solution of acid contains 5 ml of acid and 2 ml of water, which is larger here? Amount of acid is larger, 5 ml, whereas water is less in amount, 2 ml only. So in this case, this acid is called concentrated acid. Okay, whereas in the second case, acid, only 2 ml of acid is present in the solution and 5 ml of water. So which is larger? This one is larger. Water is larger amount. Okay, so in this case, the acids are called as dilute acids. Okay, children. Right. Now, how can we differentiated concentrated and dilute acids? Okay, let us assume this picture. See, these are all acid molecules which are present on the top. Okay, these are acid molecules, right? Okay, and these are the acid molecules of concentrated acid. Okay, acid molecules of what? Concentrated acid. Whereas these are the molecules of dilute acid, right? So now this concentrated acids in the aqueous form, that means what? It contains, I told you, no, in laboratory we will not be using the fuming acid because it is highly corrosive in nature. So definitely we'll be having 20 to 30% of water in that concentrated acid which we are using in the laboratory purpose. Okay, so in this type of concentrated acid, if you check, no, hydrogen, the blue color are hydrogen ions, whereas the red color ions are negatively charged ions. Okay, so in this concentrated acid, you could see that more ions are there, more acid ions are there. Okay, so it is considered to be concentrated acid, right? Whereas in the second case, dilute acid, very less number of ions are present. See, the blue and red circles are less in number, so that it is called dilute acids, right? Whereas the solvent particles are only there, more. Okay, so in this case, it is considered to be the dilute acids. Okay, right. Now, we're going to know the facts how to dilute acid and what happens when acids are added to water or water is added to acid. Okay, see here you have a picture that it shows that what happens when water is added to acid. Because to dilute an acid, either we need to add acid to water or water to acid. But we do not know the procedure, isn't it? But there is a procedure of diluting the acid, right? Then how to dilute it? Let us see that what happens, what are the causes behind that, everything we'll discuss one by one, and then we'll go for the dilution process, children. Okay. Now what happens when water is added to acid? When water is added to acid, it is a highly exothermic reaction. Okay, so why it is considered to be the highly exothermic reaction? Large amount of heat is evolved during this process. Okay, so as large amount of acid, that means heat is generated during this process. It is evolved, which means what? From the system, heat is given out. Okay, so the process is called exothermic reaction. Okay, because heat is released. Okay, so large amount of heat is released during the dilution of acid when we add water to acid. So from this we come to know that water should not be added to acid. It's a dangerous process. Is it not? Okay. So the heat evolved will change some water to steam. Okay, water will be converted to steam and it gives explosion. See here, when water is added to acid, see this is how the explosion will take place. So that what happened? It will just cause accidents in the laboratory. Okay, So it should be avoided. We should not add water to acid at all for dilution. Then how it has to be diluted? Only by adding acid to water, not to add water to acid. Okay, but what is the procedure? How to dilute acid? We have to add acid to water, but there must be some procedures, right, to follow. What are they? Dilution of acid is the process of adding concentrated acid to water, and this process is highly exothermic because large amount of heat is liberated. Okay, how dilution can be done? By adding concentrated acid to water slowly and by constant stirring. Okay, these 2 points you have to remember. How it has to be added? The first point is acid should be added. Okay, acid should be added to water. How it has to be added? Drop by drop. Drop by drop using dropper or glass rod. Okay, right. And then by constant stirring. It should be stirred constantly. Constant stirring. So that the heat generated will be slowly reduced. Okay, right. Now here we have a video where the explanation of how to dilute acid will be shown. Okay, right. So procedure, acid should be added to water slowly and by constant stirring. Okay, right. See, here we have a beaker which contains a glass rod here, and in the small beaker acid is present. Okay, so let us see how this dilution process will be taken place. Okay, so sulfuric acid, we have sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid in the small beaker. It should be added, see, slowly it has to be added using the glass rod, or else thermometer also we can use to see the range of temperature. Okay, so see, here it is highly exothermic, that's why the temperature range is showing high. Okay, so slowly it has to be done by continuous stirring. Now after adding, it has to be stirred continuously so that we can avoid the splash out of acids from the beaker. And when we add acid, what happened? It will be generating more heat. If we didn't, if we are not stirring the content properly, then what happened? Test tube may sometime break. Okay, and beakers which we are using to dilute the acids will just break. Okay, so to avoid all that things only, we have to add acid to water slowly by constant stirring to avoid accidents in the laboratory. Okay, this is the safe way of diluting acid, children. Is it clear? So whenever you're handling with the acids, of course, you are advised to wear gloves. Whenever you're dealing with the chemicals in the laboratory, you are advised to use gloves. Okay, so that you can avoid the contact of acids or other chemicals on your hands. Right, children? So thank you. Let us discuss the physical and chemical properties of acids in next class.